Yep.
All right. Greg Kwasinski, medical student at BCom. The case is you and your team are caring for Lucy, a 32-year-old woman who was thrown from a Jeep's passenger seat 2 hours ago. She's in the ICU when the nursing supervisor comes to tell you that the patient's sister is pleading to be allowed into the ICU. Normally, visitors are never allowed into the ICU at night, but occasionally exceptions are made. Tonight, the ICU is empty except for this patient. You decide to let the woman's sister in. The visitor is near collapse and begins to say things that make you aware that she is not the sister. The nursing supervisor rushes in, stating, I have made a terrible mistake, and this is the family behind me. They are very angry and demand this woman not be allowed to see the patient. The woman cries and tells you that her name is Mary and that Lucy's family disowned her because they were dating. Mary begs to stay because she knows that she would not be allowed to go to the funeral. She also states it's not fair that they have the legal right to be family when I have been the one to love and care for Mary for the past 8 years.
So I'm Nick Whitmore, a medical student at VCOM as well. The first question is, what is the problems you and your team are facing? One of the major problems is dealing with the emotional side of medicine. So obviously it's a pretty traumatic time for everybody. Everybody's experiencing grief. Everybody's experiencing the pain of potentially losing their family member or their significant other. So they have to be very careful in handling that, as well as following the policy guidelines and abiding by everybody's best wishes. And yeah.
Another problem that I'm JP, pharmacy student at PC. Another problem that we faced is that Lucy, the friend, lied about her relationship with the patient. And so it's somewhat difficult to trust her on that side, as well as we're facing the issue of who has the right to determine the ultimate care for the patient, the family, or the friend.
Okay. I'm Zachary Klein. I'm a medical student at VCOM as well. So the second question is, as a team, decide how you would address the situation. So first of all, you got to respect the family's rights because according to the law, they have the final decision. But ultimately, I would try to have a meeting with the family and the significant other to try to come to some kind of accommodation or agreement.
Brittany Little, nursing student of St. I feel also as well respect.
Hey, can you be able to hear Brittany okay?
I'm losing her.
All right, Marcel, why don't you take the first time? I'll hope Brittany catches back in a little bit. So why don't you give your input for number 3, and we'll catch up with Brittany later. So, Masai, do you have an opinion on question number 3?
Oh, number 3? For number 3, Masai Long, USCF State nursing student. The question is, what ethical principles did you use to guide or justify your solution? I put confidentiality, veracity, all these really just to make sure that the people are being truthful, the family's being truthful, and that you're keeping the information like within HIPAA policy, and also just so that the family's wishes are respected because that's the law. And yeah.
Good.
I also agree with that, and I think that it was very valiant of the nurse who displayed veracity by telling us the truth that she allowed someone in that she shouldn't have. But yeah, it's also best for us to keep everything confidential.
Yeah, I agree. I agree completely.
Yeah. Is Brittany getting back in? Hey, Brittany, we lost you. Are you back in?
Brittany, would you like to build on the?
I'm sorry, repeat that. No, you got can't see me.
Yeah, you're back in.
Yeah, we can see you. Would you like to build further on the ethical principles we discussed?
Yes. I'm traveling, so I might be choppy, so I don't want to repeat anything. But what I had written down was veracity, confidentiality and justice. And I really harp on the veracity of it, of how the nurse did address that she did make a mistake. Instead of trying to sweep her on the rug, she did address that fact. And also seeking fairness with the justice. We want to respect the parents, but also with Mary, educate her in determining like who, well, not determining, but since we know who is the actual.
Okay.
Can you all hear me?
Yes,
Yeah,
we can hear you.
good response.
So-
I agree. I think it's a great thing that the nurse brought up that she did make mistakes and that she corrected mistakes in the best way that she could, and is moving forward from here and embodying by the principles to fix the problem.
Yeah.
So back to how we'll address the situation. So are we in agreement that we're going to set both her Mary's partner down as well as the family to try and discuss the best situation for who should be in charge of care?
Yeah, I would say that we tried to add some type of like case management, like social worker, also in the situation, just so that the situation could be better managed, I guess, through their aspect.
Yeah, I think that's the key here is to try and get the parties together.
Try to diffuse the situation.
And probably get some input from a social worker. Try to find some middle ground here.
Yeah.
And that's the most we can do. If the family's not going to budge, that's their right and that's their wishes. They have the first say in all this, so we have to respect that.
Absolutely.
I completely agree with that.
Certainly, we would work for some middle ground to try and get an understanding of what the, I guess it would be Lucy's wishes, even though we're not able to get her wishes. We would try to figure that out.
I agree.
I agree also. I just want to thank everybody for their time, and let's go try and defuse this situation.
Yes.
Sounds good. Thank you. Great work, you guys.
Thanks, guys.